Hello everybody, Brenda Smith here with you today for another process video. This time I'm going to be showing you my process for traditional project life layouts. The one that I showed you last time was a hybrid layout, but this time I'm starting with paper cards and using all paper embellishments. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you my process in the beginning. So what I usually do is lay out the cards first without the photos. And I realize that this is a little bit backwards to some. I know that most people choose the photos and then the cards, but I'm not one that feels that the pictures need to absolutely match the cards. So, I mean, as you can see, this navy, there isn't really any navy on my spread, but it doesn't clash. So if there is something that kind of clashes, like these two pictures here were a little bit bold and stuck out a little bit more than I wanted, I just turned them black and white and put them on there. So the next thing that I do is I take a picture of my cards all laid out without the photos, and then I put that picture onto my computer, and then I put it into Photoshop, and then I look around at the picture in Photoshop and I see what pictures will go where. And so I will just pick out the pictures and literally lay them on top of my photo in Photoshop, just so I can move the pictures around and figure out which ones work best where. So I do that, and then I go ahead and I print them out. And I've printed these cards out on my Canon Pixma, and I actually just got a new printer. I don't remember the name of it, but I can link you to it, but it is another Canon Pixma. And the reason why I got a new one, even though my old one was fine, is because this one is a portable printer. It only weighs 4 pounds. It's 2 inches tall by 12 inches wide, so it works really well. But anyhow, so my plan for today was to do a 12 by 12 page over here on this side, and then over here I'm doing a 7 by 12. And I got some new page protectors, and that's what I'm using here. This page protector over here has a 4 by 3 cards, 4 of those. And then it has 4 3 by 3 cards. And then over here, this is, as you can see, 4 by 4 squares in all of the places except for in the middle. And in the middle, they have 2 by 2 squares. So what I'm kind of thinking for these 2 by 2 squares is that I'm going to make confetti pockets diagonal from each other, and then just kind of floating embellishments, meaning that I'm not going to put any paper behind the embellishments, but just put the embellishments themselves on the other 2 spots, just to kind of give a little bit of transparent effect to my layout. So I wanted to go ahead and show you what I did over here on this side. I wanted to go with a lot of white space. So originally I had this card by Simple Stories right here, and I really loved the way that this phrase was written, and of course, you know, that always works well for a page about my kids. But I wasn't too sure about that pink with the rest of this. I kind of felt like I had a white space thing going on mostly, and so I didn't really like that pink. So what I did was I took that picture that I told you that I had taken of all the cards without the photos, and in Photoshop, I was able to use the magic wand tool to select all of this black writing here, and I had to select all the little pieces in the middle too, but then I was able to layer it by copying it and then putting it onto a just a white background, and I thought that that, you know, just worked a lot better for my purposes. So I am working with Noel Mignon's March Daily Diary Kit. It's a kit geared toward pocket scrappers, and this specific kit was full of a lot of goodies from Simple Stories from their new I Am line. And then over here, these are My Mind's Eye cards. I think the line is on trend, and you might be able to tell in the video that it has a lot of nice gold foil elements, and the same with the Simple Stories line as well. So these colors are right up my alley. I love coral and mint and gold, so I was excited to get working with these. The first thing that I did after all my pictures and my cards were laid out was I typed the journaling on my cards where I anticipated they would go, and I knew I wanted to put something here, so I kind of kept the journaling low. And I will put a little bit more journaling here, but I want to put it on piece of vellum, and I'm not sure where my vellum is, so I'll have to find it and add it later. The next thing that I wanted to do was add a little bit of color to the white cards that I have over here. And I did it on these 3 cards just to kind of create that visual triangle. And I do plan on adding a little bit of embellishments to each of these, but I took this yellow diagonal stripe Simple Stories paper that came in the Noel Mignon kit, and I used an old Martha Stewart doily border punch that I had, and just created these little border strips in varying sizes. The next thing that I did was I took out some of the elements that were came with the kit, and these are from the Simple Stories line as well. And I just kind of laid them underneath the photo here and above the photo here, just kind of getting an idea of where things will go. Now for this card here, I'm going to, I decided I wanted to put this 3x4 card from My Mind's Eye on top of this 4x4 card from Simple Stories. Both of these cards came in the kit. And I kind of liked the idea of layering it, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and grab my adhesive and put it on there. I'm going to put it kind of low because I think I'm going to be layering some things on top of it. So go ahead and trim off that extra little bit. That's good. And trying to think what I might want to put there. I have this little die cut. It says awesome, and I'm thinking, you know, it kind of matches with that heart there. And this card is talking about my daughter getting star student at preschool, so I think it matches. It covers up a little bit of that down there, but you can still tell what it says. So I'm probably going to stitch that on, I'm thinking, just kind of stitch across. So I'm not going to adhere it right now, but I'll just set it there. I took another die cut word. This is in gold foil and it says love, and this is from the On Trend line. And then I have this little hashtag family die cut that I layered, so then it looks like it says family love, and the border up there. So what I think I'm going to do on that card, and actually I'll pull it down here so I can reach it. So what I'm going to do on this card is I think I want to put some rub-ons. So I'm going to grab these rub-ons that came with the kit. These are the On Trend line from My Mind's Eye. And I am going to go for the, I don't want it to be too busy because, you know, it has this already and then all of the colors from these books here. So honestly, I think I'm going to go with this little squiggly line. And I don't need all of it, so I'm just going to cut off a portion of it. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right here. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever used rub-ons before, but you just remove the backing, and I want it this way, kind of looking like it's upside down a little bit. And I'm going to put it, let's see if this were aligned with the top of the card. Probably put it right about here. So, then I'll take the little popsicle stick that it came with and just start rubbing. I always probably rub a little bit too much, but I just want to make sure that it adheres before I take it off. So I'm pretty sure that I should be good by now. So yep, and there it is. It looks, it's very cool. It looks like it's printed onto there, and I like that. So it turned out good. And I'm gonna put this right there. It's just a little bit added touch to it. It's okay if I cover it up, you know, I'm not covering up the entire thing, but just you can see a little pop of color from behind there. That's kind of what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. Okay, and then I will trim off the extras. And then, again with this love, I do think I'm going to stitch it on. So I'll just add the family, #family right now. I try not to use a lot of adhesive when I know that I'm going to be stitching, just because if my needle's going to be going through these papers, I don't want to gummy up my needle, so I just put a little bit and that's it. So for that card, for now, it's okay. This one here, I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to be adding anything right now. That might change, but I'll go ahead and move on to this card here and add the border strip at least. You know, I don't know. I don't particularly care for that border by itself, so I'm going to add something else. I have this little like acetate or almost vellum looking, but it's like a thicker plastic floral design that it came with the On Trend line in their little ephemera pack. And I think that maybe I could just kind of cut off a piece and layer it underneath. So what I'm going to do is just cut it right about in the middle of that pink flower and put it there, and then layer the border over it. And again, there will be stitching here, so let me see, I'm going to pull that down a little bit more so the flowers show. There will be stitching, so I'm not going to use much adhesive. Also, I kind of like the way that it this acetate pops up a little bit, so I'm not going to try to stitch that down. I kind of like the dimension that it adds, even though it's not really dimension. So there, you see what I'm talking about, this little bit here. So there I'm going to glue just a little bit, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this as well, just to kind of secure it to the top, and then later on I will stitch. I do my stitching last. I just try to get all the other stuff done first, and then I add the stitching as the last step. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you know what? I think there are these cute little pieces of sequins that came with the Noel Mignon kit, and these are from Crepe Paper. I think from their Craft Market line. Oh no, it's from the Maggie Holmes line. I don't remember what that's called, confetti maybe. So I'm gonna add that in. I kind of like just the look of the added layer, and I'm not even gonna put any glue on that just because it kind of fits in there snugly, and I don't want to add any extra glue right now if I don't have to. I am then going to layer that one with this, and this one I will put just a dot of glue on. And just kind of layer it on top of there. So now, I like the way that looks. I'm going to add some stitching, and then probably as a final touch, I'll just put like a little enamel dot there, but I'll wait until the stitching is done. So let's see. Here on this card, I'm going to keep it simple with these enamel dots that came with the kit. I have these heart-shaped ones that kind of match this heart shape on the Simple Stories card, and I like more of the contrast with the lighter pink, and also it matches with this part of the typewriter here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that on there. And that might be it for this card, just because, like I said, I just want to keep it simple. Don't want to put too much to look at on the page. I want it to be well balanced, so I am having trouble with this because it's not perfectly shaped, but there it goes. Okay, so that works fine. No, I don't like it, so I'm going to take it off. I think what I will actually do is use these Gold ones? Oh yeah, okay, the small gold enamel dots, the round ones, and I'm just going to kind of put them randomly. I mean, not so random, but there we go. Okay, that works for me. I like just a little bit of pop of color there, so now I'm thinking this card goes back down here. I'm going to go ahead and add this border to there. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I went ahead and sped this part up because otherwise my video is going to be 38 minutes long. Whoops. So you will see my hands kind of gesturing because I was talking while I was filming this, but I had to speed this up. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a voiceover. So what I'm doing is just finishing off this last little spot. I decided that I wanted to use this little tag that says enjoying the ride. And I wanted it to be a little dimensional, so I took my foam adhesive and I cut it in half and just put it on one little spot right by the in the enjoying the ride phrase, and glued down the rest of the parts just so there was like a little bump in it. And I liked the dimension that it gave. So I decided with this photo of my son that there was more to the photo than can be told just by looking at it. So I added this gold label for my stash, and I'm just going to go ahead and type on that later, but let me trim the edges here, and that looks great. I love it. So I think that I like that I'm adding a little bit of gold foil all around, and decided that I needed just a little bit more on that picture of my mom and my daughter. And she got a star student that week, and I just wanted to make sure that it was well documented. So I put another little label, and I think I'm actually just going to do a little bit of embellishing on it instead of typing on it or anything, because I already typed the story down below. So I decided to choose just this little chipboard gold foil embellishment that was also from my stash. It's just a little gold foil ampersand, and I think that gave that last that card up there in the top corner just the last finishing touch that it needed. I am taking out those sequins again from the crepe paper line and layering them there on top of that gold foil label that I used. And I also am taking another pink one, just kind of like I did up in the top right corner, and just laying them on top of each other. And sorry you can't see, I'm still adjusting to framing issues, but I'm just gluing those on right now, and later on after I stitch it I will probably put an enamel dot on top of it as well. So I am going through and adding some enamel dots just to kind of finish off. I'm going to do just a few randomly placed. I chose pink for that top card. And then I'm going to go ahead and place some down on the bottom. And because there's already kind of some blues there, I wanted to do pink as well. So I chose the lighter pink. And I just put 3 of them there in kind of like a triangle-ish formation. So this side is pretty much done. Eventually I have to just kind of let myself be done, or else I'll keep picking at it. So I'm going to add some stitching later on, but as for right now, it looks good. I'm going through and just kind of trying to get an idea for what kind of embellishments I will place on those pockets. And I have these confetti that I will put, or rather sequins that I will put in those pockets. So I'm looking forward to getting that done later on. So now I'm going to go through and do the other side. I'm trying to figure out in that bottom picture on the bottom right, I'm trying to figure out what would best go under that photo, and I found this tag that was in the Simple Stories from the Noel Mignon kit, And I really like how that looks, and there's a little bit hanging off the edge, but I think that that will be okay. A lot of the times those 3x3 pockets are actually kind of big. I don't know why, but so that works well for this case. And then I just put enjoy the little things, and that moment wasn't really remarkable other than the fact that it was just a moment of joy for my daughter because she likes to sit on my husband's trunk, and he came home from work one day and just took this picture of her sitting there. So I went ahead and glued that picture down. I do plan on doing stitching there, so again, I didn't put much adhesive, but just enough to kind of make it stay put. And I'm going to put that tag right back on. And I like the way that looks, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that card as it is. And now this one, I don't know if you can see that card, but it's just the gold foil crosses. And I wanted to put the photo in the way that the crosses or the plus signs could still be seen. So I'm going to layer this tab from the Simple Stories sticker line, and I'm putting adhesive on the front of the tab because I want to layer it under my photo. And I accidentally got a little bit of adhesive on up higher than I wanted to on that tab, but it works out well because when I go ahead and stick down that word you, I can just kind of push it down on there and it will hold it in place until I go through and do the stitching. So that's it for that card. And I just kind of like the way that it looks like it says love you, you know, with the heart and then the word you. So I have this tag, it says I am, and it's obviously from the Simple Stories I am line. And I'm just going to layer it under the photo again. And again, out of frame, sorry. But I'm going to go ahead and layer that on, and just trying to get it perfect there. And then I'm going to try to figure out what embellishment to put there. And I didn't like that blue heart because of the blue color in the photo already, so I wanted something that contrasted a little more. So I found this coral heart, and I was pointing out that little bit of washi there. I really liked the washi that's printed on there, and I wanted to kind of work with that as if it were real washi, so I put the heart in that place to where the washi could still be seen. For that Make It Work card, I'm going to go ahead and just stamp the date on it. And I don't usually stamp every photo, but I do try to get at least 1 or 2 dates on my spread. Because I do it monthly, it's organized in my album by months, so I'm not really too concerned about having everything dated because knowing that it's in that month is specific enough for me when I look back on it. And I think that's the most perfect I've ever done a date stamp. I usually mess it up, so that looks good. I'm going to move on to the next card. I'm kind of thinking maybe I would put a little bit of vellum inside this frame and then journal on it, but then I decided it was a little bit too square, so I'm moving on and I'm just going to stick with my idea of putting vellum paper there. I'm attaching this tab to this photo, and I'm using my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, and that tab says Captured. And I'm going to put this little die cut from the Simple Stories I Am line underneath, kind of tucked in underneath the tab. And again, it will hang off of the card a little bit, but I'm not worried about that because I'm pretty sure it will still fit in the page protectors. So I'm going ahead and adding it. And I forgot to put adhesive on my photo, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm putting adhesive on my photo. And then I like that, and I think that it does look pretty good, but I have these phrase stickers in my stash, and I'm going to go ahead and add one to the card here. And that phrase just says, "Heart these kids," and I thought that was appropriate because I really did like that moment with my kids. I'm going to go ahead and add another phrase up there to that picture of my son just because I felt like it needed a little something, and that phrase says, "You plus me equals fun," which I thought was kind of appropriate because he and I were playing together at the park while my daughter was off with her newfound friends. I'm kind of going through and seeing if I like veneer on top of that heart, but I didn't really like it, so I took it off. But anyway, so I think I am pretty much finished. And this is what it looks like before I go through and add my stitching and then the last few final touches and then my pockets, and I will come back and show you the pictures of what it looks like after it's all done. So this is what it looks like all finished. I did quite a bit of stitching and I'm really happy with it. I'm also happy with how that pocket turned out with the confetti and the little dimensional embellishments. I think it looks great, and I stitched them shut as well, the sequin pockets, so that they wouldn't come out. So thank you so much for watching, and go get your Noel Mignon kit today because they are fabulous and you will not be disappointed. I look forward to making another video again soon, and I will see you next time.